to stay here for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cross Media Show. Today's topic is it's finally here, guys. Hamilton. A review of Hamilton. Before we start, let's introduce some guests. We have Colin to my right. No, to my left. Well, screen is to my left, yes. Sorry. Colin, how's it going? Oh, it's not Colin, it's Craig. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why I have Colin in my head. Oh, boy.
I couldn't tell you. Thanks for having me anyway, though.
Yeah, no problem. I'm really sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. I've been called a lot worse.
Okay. We also have Fee. Fee, how's it going?
Going great.
Cool. Holland, it's good to see you. How's it going?
Good to see y'all too. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, especially for this
I feel
episode.
like it's been a while.
It has.
No, I did a WandaVision 1 and 2 with you.
Yes, last week. So yeah.
Was that last week? Oh my
It
gosh,
feels like it wasn't last week. Yes. And finally, we have Jess. Jess, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. Cool.
Very excited for this today.
Oh yeah, me too. It's been a long time coming. I've seen this about 8 times, and I've only started watching it. I want to say the beginning of December. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive, yeah.
I can't stop, like it's nonstop.
Oh, God.
Oh God. Yeah, that's going to be a bunch of puns.
Yeah, I got the vinyls delivered yesterday.
Say that again?
I got the vinyls delivered yesterday.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
I bet they look pretty nice. Are they just...
The packaging on them's great.
Oh, man. That just sounds great. Oh, I think I should buy some. What do you think?
Oh, they cost me a fortune.
Oh, no. Then no.
Well, shipping them to Scotland.
Yeah, it wouldn't be expensive for you. It's the import fees and all that other crazy stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Something like $100 for them.
Jesus. Okay. All right, guys. We're just going to hop into it. I'm going to start this off by asking you who your favorite character was and who your least favorite character was. We're going to start off with Fee. Because it feels like Craig
Why?
needs some time.
Why would you do this to me?
What do you mean? We had a conversation before the show. And
I know.
Okay,
I'm
alright.
very aware. And I'm pretty sure I came up with this question.
Okay.
And I'm really not happy that you
well, okay, so how
brought
about
this upon me.
how about this? Let me start. My favorite character, George Washington.
Mm-hmm.
My least favorite character, Thomas Jefferson. He was
What?
He was way too flashy. He was just way too much. Okay?
So he played the part of Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure. I can't confirm or deny that. All I know.
Yeah, he played Thomas Jefferson.
Okay. All right. Then I guess he played Thomas Jefferson pretty great.
He was literally the person who was just like, hey, like, I'm just going to come back to the United States after y'all did a war, and I want to have power in this government. I know I haven't been doing anything, but I've just
He was the ambassador to France. What do you mean he hasn't been doing anything?
I mean, it was said that he essentially like just flirted and drank and did a bunch of other stuff when he was in France, and then he came back and then he took credit for being a part. Like, it was essentially like an American move where it's just like, I came 2 seconds into something, like the ending of something, and then being like, it's all us who, like, I did this.
First off, it's not okay that you just said that. Okay.
I can say that because I'm Canadian.
Precisely, all the more reason why you can't say that.
Okay, if
but
she
I'll
can say it, then I will say it.
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Also, War of 1812, so get at me, and then we'll come and talk later.
Okay. Well, we'll see if they're doing a War of 1812 musical.
Oh my god, do you know what happens in the War of 1812, or are we just...
We're not going to get into that, because this is the War of 1812.
Fair.
So, Fee, favorite character, least favorite character. What do you got for me?
I'd probably say my favorite character would probably be Angelica.
Okay.
And then my least favorite is Lady Reynolds. Hate her guts.
Yeah.
She was a pivotal point in the entire like existence of this play where you're just like, you ruined everything.
Yep.
Like you couldn't just yeah. I don't like her. I don't like it. The woman who played her, fantastic. Do not like that character though.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Holland, what do you got for me?
I have to agree that Angelica was probably my favorite character. Like when we get to ranking songs, pretty much if she did a song, I was here for it. She's fantastic.
Okay.
I would say my least favorite. I mean, yeah, like Lady Reynolds totally sucked and pissed me off. But I think my least favorite, I hadn't even thought about it really, but it would probably be this is gonna be bad. It would probably be Hamilton himself.
Okay, that's not as bad as you would think. I
I
know
No.
just
a couple people did not find him great.
like yes, Lady Reynolds sucked, but he did his thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
He
I
had his
agree.
involvement, and there was just so much of it. Like as much as he was like trying to push for things, he just, for me, I was like, he just seems kind of whiny in a lot of situations,
Okay.
and I'm just not here for it. But anyway, so those are mine.
Well, I'll tell you what. You have your mother die in your arms, and then have your cousin hang himself when you decide to come live with him, and then we'll see if you're whiny. Okay.
You don't want to get involved in my family dynamics
Okay.
right now.
I don't think we do. I'm
No.
sorry.
Oh my god.
Jess.
You know, Hamilton is just verbose no matter what he's doing. He is going to say a lot. And if that's because he's complaining about stuff or very excited, it's just going to be a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I again, Angelica, she's iconic. She's amazing. She's so talented. And she has such great lines. I don't really have a least favorite. Maybe the weird dynamic here because I love Anthony Ramos.
Okay.
But his character is always just like, oh man, you just keep dying. Spoilers.
Fair enough. Craig.
I did decide because I could honestly say Hamilton for both
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh,
because
that's pretty good.
he's the arrogance of him and everything like that. He's so self-assured that you hate him, but you love that he's so confident in himself. And he's like, no, I can do this. I'm going to do this. Screw all you guys. So I'm kind of Hamilton on both of them, but I do hate Mariah Reynolds as well.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Valid.
Yeah, absolutely. So my girlfriend had asked me, she introduced me to Hamilton after I specifically said, no, I definitely don't want to watch a musical for 3 hours. No way, Jose. No, I don't want to do it. And then
Same.
she put it on anyway. And I was like, fuck, this is actually really good. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
Yep,
deny it.
that's the exact same thing that happened to me.
Yeah. So she had asked me a question and she was like, what does this musical make you feel? And it took me a while to answer it because there were so many emotions that I had felt throughout the whole thing. But I think the two emotions I felt were, one, I felt like I could do anything. Like this definitely was inspiring, but also like it made me look at my life, and if they were doing all this shit before 25, I'm 27. I just turned 27 and I haven't accomplished anything in my life, anything significant in my life. So I was like, I should probably really get on that and do something about that. Have I done anything about it? Absolutely not. But it's definitely in the back of my head, a thought in the back of my head every now and then that pops up. Like, what are you waiting for? What do you stall for? You know? Again, it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening.
Every time I'm gonna shake my head.
That's okay. That's fine. That's totally fine. So I had asked you guys to write down your top 5 favorite songs. So we're gonna go around and start with number 5. We're not gonna go say all of them. We're just gonna go around and start with number 5.
Yeah.
Fee, what was your number 5?
Easy. I'm gonna be honest. This is something that gets constantly stuck in my head. Is Aaron Burr.
Yeah.
That song, like from start to finish,
Yep.
I know all the words, and I'm like, fantastic. Like it introduces you to these characters quite quickly, and it's a great way to like get them all out at once. And then just seeing Aaron Burr kind of set his standard at the beginning, and then you see that throughout, and it's kind of quoted, which is like talk less, smile more,
Yep.
and it's constantly used throughout the play. So I personally really enjoyed it. But yeah, it's really good. Also,
Okay.
just like the snarkiness between them is fantastic.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
Holland, what's your number 5?
Number 5, for me was probably Nonstop. I'm like looking at my list and I'm like, do I want to switch these real quick? But I'm gonna stick with Nonstop. I think is probably my number 5. I think I don't know. I think the way everything kind of culminated in that at the end of the first act was like, and you're getting these callbacks and everything. It felt really nice. But I had like all these others that were like above it. So, but I mean, for just to kind of bring everything together there at the end, I thought it was a really strong final number for the first act.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it.
All right. Jess, what's your number 5?
So my number 5 is kind of a combination, because if you look at the song list, there's 46 songs
Yes.
on this soundtrack, and a lot of them are like one song leading into another, and they're both very small. So I kind of have a couple of combo groups on mine, and this is my shot to Story of Tonight. Story of Tonight is my favorite. Just, you know, the whole being drunk with your friends and you know, we're invincible, we can take on the world, we can do anything, raise a glass to freedom. Like, oh god, depending on the mood I'm in, I will cry. But you know, my shot leading into that, where you've got like this really fast tempo take on the world, and then down into the chill of Story of Tonight. I just really like that combo.
Okay. Cool. Craig.
For me, it would probably be Right Hand Man, because it's like the first time you really see Hamilton actually get a shot at something. Washington calls him in, like, look, I need your help. I'm kind of screwed here. And it's the quick fire thinking, right, what can I do? How can I help? I know these people that can come instantly and do these things for you. Obviously, brings Lafayette in, who winds up being one of the greatest American leaders in the war and everything like that. So it's like such a cool way to introduce that Hamilton actually really had such a big part to play for Washington personally.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. I think we don't really get that. Well, here in the States, we don't really get that Alexander Hamilton was a major part of history. At least for me, I didn't get that at all. We just know that he was there, you know. The big heavy hitters are always Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and Ben Franklin. That's pretty much it. Which this whole musical just surprised me because like there was so much I didn't really know, but I kind of knew. It's just so good. For me, my number 5, I'm gonna have to go with Alexander Hamilton. The intro to the whole thing, just because it gives you a background story, but it also like that's the part of the song that kind of inspires me. Just because, again, he's done all this shit, and at the age of 14, he's out here just doing all this shit and trying to get to a better place in life by trying to get to America. Yeah, that's all I got. Shall we go on to number 4s? Fiona,
I mean,
what was that, Holland?
I was just saying, I was agreeing with you.
Okay.
I was not agreeing with your song choice, but I was agreeing with yes, let's go to fours.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair.
And it starts.
Yeah.
That was like one of my least favorite songs. I'm just gonna say.
Oh man, I listen to that every day on my way to work.
I
Just
mean,
playing.
that's valid.
Yeah. Fee, what's your number 4?
The Schuyler Sisters.
Okay.
Such a good song. There's a reason why it's my 4th. We're going to get back to the Schuyler Sisters later on in my list,
Okay.
but I very much enjoyed the song. It's the woman empowerment song that you want to have in this musical, especially during that time period, and it's addressed by Angelica that like women weren't a part of anything. Like when they like created this country, women had no say. And so they kind of hinted that a little bit, and they also hinted some other things near the end. But it was a really great introduction. Also, just like the mood of it was really exciting, and everything was like really upbeat. And also, once again, we love to wake up and choose violence or sass, and she definitely chose sass when she had to deal with Burr. So, yeah,
Yeah.
we
Fair
like
enough.
it.
Okay. Holland, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Burn. After our, favorite Miss Reynolds and all of that is just kind of, coming crashing down. Burn was so beautiful and sad, and seeing like Eliza's pain, but also her resolve and like her relationship with Angelica coming through in that, and just how she's like, you know what, you messed up, like screw it kind of thing. But in this very, like every song of hers has that kind of feel to it of just this innocence and this softness.
Yep.
And that's what was in it. And it was just, it was so good. So good. So I think number 4 for me would have to be Burn.
All right, cool. Jess, what's your number 4?
Actually, mine's actually pretty related to that because the Reynolds pamphlet is my number 4.
Oh, really?
Really, I have going through my list. I discovered I really like the upbeat, fast tempo songs more than the slower, more deliberate songs. In most cases, I love the fast action. I love the quick rhymes. I love the dialogue going back and forth, and the choreography as well is one where this one really hits for me. Of course, that's more of like watching the show than it is about just listening to the music, because the way that they create this tornado of pamphlets and then have it cleaned up by the time Burn starts is every single time I watch it, like I start watching different things to watch how it all comes together, and it's just, I love it so much.
Okay,
And
cool.
George dancing in the background is probably the best thing in that
Yeah.
though.
Craig, what's your number 4?
I've got the feeling this one's going to be talked about later on, so I'll keep it brief. Satisfied.
Okay.
The song's great, don't get me wrong. I prefer the faster raps and things like that, so I'm more into different songs like that. But Satisfied, her kind of showing her side of the story and the pain that she kind of feels seeing them actually be married, knowing it's not to her. I thought, like, and her performance in that, the notes and everything she has, phenomenal. And It's like you just can't look past it as one of the best songs in Hamilton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Before I say my number 4, did everybody who here listened to the soundtrack before they actually watched the musical? Okay. Holland, are you raising your hand or no?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So it's me and Holland that did not listen to any of the music first. We watched it.
Fair.
Okay. All right, that's fair. My number 4 is It's Quiet Uptown. Just because, like, it's really sad, but also, like, I don't know how to really explain this.
No.
I don't. No? Don't
No,
ex-
no, no.
Okay.
I'm just saying no to that choice, but
Okay. You could say no. It's just, this is my number 4. Okay.
I'm allowed to, and
Okay.
I'm going
Oh,
to
she's
say
been
no.
shaking her head since you got it out of your mouth.
Okay. All right.
So
But
you just finished your thought.
fair enough. I just, the way that he is, like, for me, I think Hamilton feels, obviously he feels terrible because he went and pretty much told his son to do this, and the death is on him. Like, you could see that he knows that, and he feels remorse for it. And just the ending where Angelica just blah, just the blah. No, where she accepts it, and it's just, yeah, she's just here for him. Like, he already feels bad about it. I don't need to make him feel less shitty about it. So I'm just gonna be there for him, which is good. I liked it a lot.
That's something that's kind of interesting. I read through the actual biography of Alexander Hamilton after I first got the soundtrack years and years ago, because when I go hard into something, I go way too hard.
Yeah.
Because nerd. And one of the things that's really interesting is that Eliza, throughout the rest of her life, idolizes Hamilton, despite this, like, betrayal that he did. She talked about him, in this adoring, remembering way. And the reason that we even have any legacy of Alexander Hamilton is because Eliza put so much effort into preserving his memory.
I just realized that I said Angelica.
And that's why
I didn't catch it at first, and I was like, oh god, yeah. Sorry.
Is that book worth reading?
Say it again.
Is the book worth reading that the thing was based on?
It's really interesting. I went through a whole Revolutionary War kick at the time, so I watched a bunch of, I watched Turn, and I watched, I listened to a bunch of Hamilton. And the book is actually really good. It is long, though. It is not short.
I audiobook it.
It is better as an audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are they rapping the lines?
They are not. That is definitely, although there are lines directly from the book in the play.
Okay.
So every once in a while you get to a line and you're like, ah.
Okay. All right. I'll take it. Fiona, what's your number 3?
This is a combination one.
Okay.
Mostly because it starts out it starts out with helpless, and then you kind of like watch it go backwards as you go with satisfied. So you can't really say satisfied. Like, I'm honestly, like, song wise, I'm not the biggest fan of helpless, but you need to have helpless to have satisfied, because you get to see like her side of it. You're seeing like even just like some of the motions that she has during it. Like, visually it looks amazing, because you see them like talking to the girl on the street, like Hamilton Burr, and they're just like joking around with this female, and then you see them moving across the stage, and then you're seeing other things move around her, and you're seeing like, okay, you just saw what my goodness, Eliza like you got to see all of Elias's side, but then you now get to see like this is what Angelica was actually thinking during these particular points. Like when she said like, um, "Oh, this is my sister," my goodness, Eliza, and then she kind of does this, and then she cuts to like, "Oh, this is what I was thinking."
Yeah.
Like you're never going to be satisfied, and then she continues on. Like it's really, really well done, and so I think that's definitely in my third place.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Holland, what do you have at number 3?
For me, at number 3, I have the Schuyler sisters.
Okay.
So whenever Fee said that was her number 4, I was like, yeah, it's in that same range for me. But yeah, for me, it was number 3. And it was, just, I liked, of course, Angelica's lines. She just had so much in there. And it was like a good little introduction to those characters. I definitely preferred that introduction to Hamilton's introduction or any of the other characters, really.
Yeah.
But there was something that she said in it. It was like repeating line, and it's gonna escape me now. But you want a revolution? I want a revolution. So listen to my declaration. Whenever she would say that, it was just one of those things where I was just like, ugh. And especially with her voice saying it, it was just. But I mean, there was. And again, like Fee said, that her sass in response to Burr, I was just like, oh, yes, just shut him down right there, just like that. And it was beautiful. So I really enjoyed that.
Okay, cool. Jess, what was your number 3?
So looking at my list, I'm starting to realize there's a lot of antagonism in here.
Okay.
My number 3 is the cabinet battle number 2.
Hell yeah. That's such a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And then kind of sliding into Washington on Your Side. The cabinet battles are my favorite. And if you ever get a chance to see the show live, they switch up from using, stage mics to using an actual handheld microphone. It changes the tone just a little bit, but it also just really it emphasizes that rap battle nature of the cabinet battles, and every single line in the cabinet battles is really well done. But it has my favorite, probably one of my favorite lines in the show, which is, "We signed a treaty with a king whose head is now in a basket. Would you like to take it out and ask it?"
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
It's just, I love it so much. And then from there on to, Jefferson antagonizing Hamilton with like, "Daddy's calling."
Oh,
Like, it's
man.
so good.
Oh God, that was good.
It's so good. Yeah, so that's my number 3.
Okay, cool. Craig.
Not my number 3. I do want to shout out my favourite line in the show from Farmer Refuted, and the only reason I'm shouting it out is because I couldn't in good conscience put Farmer Refuted on my list, the top 5, for one line.
Fair
And
enough.
it's,
Yeah.
"Don't modulate the key and then not debate with me."
Oh,
I find
yeah.
that line so funny every single time.
Mhm.
It's possibly my favourite line of the whole show, but when I was making my list, I was like, I cannot in good conscience put that on my list for that one line. Battle of Yorktown. That's
hell
good.
yeah.
Like, looking through my, it's all the ones that have got the kind of passion behind them that seem to hit the top. Like, just for the few bars of the "We Won," as at the end of it, you can just feel relief and pain and sorrow, and like the fact that they've had to fight this war to finally take their country back, and it's the "We Won" at the end where he's like, I can go and meet my son now. And I just think the whole song is great. Like, Lafayette's rap is brilliant,
Yeah.
but it's just the bit that really seals it for me is the "We Won" at the end, because there's just so much behind it.
Absolutely. I also want to shout out Farmer Refuted for the line that Hamilton has about his dog, and that his mange looks the same. It's really, really clever. My number 3.
Not a good song, but it's got some of the best lines in it.
Yes, definitely. I have to agree with that. My number 3 is Wait For It. And it's interesting for me because I'm not a big fan of Burr, but like he's got two of the best songs in the show by far.
Yeah.
Wait For It
I
and
agree.
Nonstop, I have to are just like really, really great. For me in Wait For It, the line "Love doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints." It just hits me, like fuck. It's he's not wrong, and I don't know. It just like that song. I could listen to it over and over again and not have a problem with it. Shall we go on to number 2s?
Sounds good.
Okay. Fiona, what's your number 2?
There is a song in this play that can make me cry so easily, and it's One Last Time with Washington.
Oh man.
Mostly because if you watch, like, the way that they do it on the Disney Plus version, fantastic. When they did that as the last song that they played in the White House, when they brought the Hamilton cast to play in front of Obama, insane. And then they got Obama to do the farewell address in a remixed version.
Oh man.
It is so great and fantastic. And also, like, when you see the oh my goodness, the one that they did in the White House, everyone started to cry. Even the actor who played Washington, like, he could barely make it through it because you're like looking at the president, you're watching this man, he's going to be leaving. So this was essentially like an address to him saying like this is his farewell. So my goodness, it is in so well done. All 3 versions. Highly recommend it if you haven't already. Look it up on YouTube. The White House, One Last Time, as well as the Obama farewell address version. It is absolutely fantastic. As a heads up, Obama does not sing; he just reads the farewell address, but still fantastic.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why it's my number 2.
Okay. Fair enough. Holland, what's your number 2?
My number 2 has been mentioned, and it is My Shot.
Okay.
That was like, I mean, because it was early on, and honestly, when I watched it, I watched like Alexander Hamilton's song, and I was like, like, and I'm not a fan. Then we get to Bursar, and I was like, I don't know. But when it got to My Shot, like, those kind of songs are the ones that resonate with me a lot, just from like a personal sense, from just my own struggles and things I've fought through in my life. And to hear that, I was just like, okay, yeah, this I can get behind. I'm going to see how it's going, see where it goes from here. And I don't know, that's one that I feel like I could listen to plenty of times and not be tired of it. It's just, it's that one that makes you kind of feel like a fire in your chest, and you're just like, okay, all right, like I have shit to do, and I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to change my life, and I'm going to change the lives of everyone that I come in contact with. And that's what that song kind of gave me.
Okay. Jess, what's your number 2?
My number 1 and number 2, I went back and forth for a long time about.
Oh boy.
But my number 2, and I honestly, I kind of like, do I want to change it? No. Room Where It Happened.
Oh, great song.
Is my number 2. And I love this song. I love the turn that we get with Aaron Burr. The Leslie Odom Jr. version specifically, but he's just, you see him kind of take that realization of, I can't be on the sidelines, I can't smile, talk less, smile more. I can't, that's not working for me. I need to, this is what I want, I'm gonna get it. And then you know, his again, choreography is a big thing for me. So if you jumping up on a table, dancing over the tablecloth, like I'm so in. It has it may have the most passion that I feel in any song in the play. It really for me kind of highlights how it's arguable if Burr or if Hamilton is the main character of that play.
Okay. Craig.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I would probably say My Shot as well, for mostly the same reasons, but like it's the first time you get introduced to the kind of cocky side of Hamilton at first, when he's talking about how like he's got his scholarship and all that, but you instantly switch to the biggest moment of vulnerability until probably the Reynolds pamphlet, where he's like, am I talking to, like, I've never had a group of friends before, and I just want you all to be proud of me, so I'm going to do everything I can to make you all proud. And it's probably the most vulnerable you see him. And
Yeah.
I think, like, for the rest of the show, that's really important, that you know he has got that side, he's just not showing it as much.
Yeah. My Shot is probably one of those songs where I listen to it all the time, and I also recite it line by line. But unfortunately, it didn't make my list. It's top 10. I'm sorry.
Honestly, like for me, like I almost removed Satisfied off of my list because I've heard it so much that I'm like, maybe I need to put something else on there because it's getting so repetitive for me because I've listened to it so much.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 2. Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Our Story at the end. Eliza's line at the end. Oh wait, there's something more. I built the private orphanage. Fucking gets me every time. Every time I feel chills, I almost start to cry, and oh man, it's just really, really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 1.
Damn.
Fiona, what's your number 1?
It's Wait For It.
Ooh, okay.
The reason why it's number 1 is because it's a very pivotal point specifically for Aaron because he actually talks about like his stand. Mind you, it's to himself.
Yep.
He's just saying it to himself, but he's like, this is the first time that he's actually like specifically stated these are like facts. These are hard facts. Like you said, like love doesn't discriminate. And also the like later on he says death doesn't discriminate between
Yep.
the sinners and the saints, which we see that throughout the play. So it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, this is him actually making a stand.
Yep.
Should he have said this to other people? Maybe. But it's really emotional. I can listen to it constantly. And oh my god, Leslie, what a fantastic singer. Like just the amount of effort that he puts into it is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
So yeah, wait for it.
Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Holland, what was your number 1?
My number 1 has been beaten half to death on all of the lists, and it is Satisfied. Like whenever I first, now I have to admit I have only watched this one time.
Okay.
Fair.
So I don't have that kind of, I'm hearing them over and over again, or I'm listening to them over and over again. And some of the other songs did make it on my like initial list, but then whenever I started cutting things down, this is how it got. Helpless, I was like, oh, that's really pretty, but I was also like, it's a little weak for me. Not in the sense that the song itself is weak, but her innocence and naivete for me was coming across as personal weakness. And that may be unfair to Eliza's character, but I was just struggling with this, pushing this idea that she's helpless for this man, and it's my own issue. Maybe, I don't know. I was just struggling. So then when we get to Satisfied and Angelica's doing the toasts and everything, when it got to Rewind and everyone on the stage starts rewinding, I was like, oh shit, what's about to happen? I'm not ready for this. No one told me. No one told me we were going to get a rewind here. And then hearing her side, I was like, this is good. This is beautiful. And it makes, was it Burn or the pamphlet where Angelica comes home and confronts Hamilton, and he's like, oh, you're back. She's like, I'm not back for you. I'm back for my sister.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing that, like, here, even though she's like, she is coveting her sister's husband that she introduced and all like that. And we see that whole time. So it could have gone the completely other way. But, you know, we're already seeing where she's like, you won't be satisfied. I won't be satisfied. I see you. I know your game. You're going to be a cheater. But she did it in such a beautiful way. And again, it was anything that Angelica's in, any song she does, I was here for it. The talent in that one, what is her name? Renee Goldsberry?
Elise Goldsberry. Yeah, Renee Elise Goldsberry.
Oh my God. I could listen to her sing anything. She could have sang the whole show and I'd be there for it. Like, just please give me your voice all the time. So that is my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's a really great number one. Jess, what was your number one?
So I'm going to start this off. I am prepared to get lots of crap for this. And I honestly, yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Satisfied should be number one on my list. It should. But like Fiona, I've just listened to it too much. You know, it's perfect. It's amazing. But, you know, it's done. My number one is King George's song, his first song.
That almost made it on my list. It's sitting here. Although I did write next to it, quote, Abuser's Anthem. Not gonna lie. But that's why it's so good. I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you see this because it's like the lines. The dialogue is so good. And then not just that, but like how he delivers it just standing. No words. And then starts just spittle flying in fury. And eventually you get the shoulder dance and he's like, everybody. You know? If we're talking about songs that I have fun with, I have fun with that song. I have more fun with that song than any other song.
Listen,
100%. It was almost my number one. I'm not even gonna lie. So don't even worry about it. I 100% agree with you.
It's so a great song, and it's terrifying how he just doesn't blink. Okay, terrifying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh God.
There's no respect. It's actually a reference to something.
Is that really?
It's a reference to the madness of King George because it was insane. It was absolutely mental, and it was the only way they could portray, because like it's the quick switch between like to show you my love, I'll kill your friends and family.
Yeah.
So the spit was his way of also showing like the madness of him, because it was that easy for him to be just mental screaming at you.
Yeah.
So that's actually why he does that spit. That's more intentional than it looks.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, I didn't think of that. Well done. All right. Craig, what was your number one?
Mine's is also Wait for It. Because as I said, my last one, it's more the powerful song, and it's the mask finally starting to slip off Aaron Burr. And you hear it when he starts talking about Hamilton doesn't hesitate. You can almost hear like the envy of he just takes and he takes and he takes. And he keeps winning, but I'm now waiting for it, and nothing's happening. He's rising, he's going, and I'm stuck here behind him the whole time. And he's talking about the legacy he has to protect, how he's lost all his family, he's lost everybody who's ever loved him, and he's now just watching this. arrogant, loudmouth bastard that he's called throughout the whole show,
Yep.
Rise. And there's such a power to every line of that song because you can just hear pain and guilt and fear and sorrow and regret and all of it, and it's beautifully so. Like the way he sings it is fantastic.
I do have to say that he's stuck in his ways. He sees Hamilton rising from nothing, but he's thinking, no, I'm going to do it my way because I think my way is the right way. And it's just a good back and forth between them throughout the show of just seeing, like, he was junior, what was it? Junior, Hamilton was
Delegate to the Constitutional
junior delegate to the Constitutional Convention, and Burr's just there as the lawyer, and as a lawyer, and it's just like clearly for me, I thought like clearly he's doing something right, so I would stop what you're doing because clearly it's not working as well as what he is doing. So why not just follow him? But at different times, I guess. That's okay.
That's kind of what he alludes to when he's like, he changes the game and he raises the stakes.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing all this stuff. Why am I not doing that? Why am I not following him? But he's cautiousness as he's just got to wait and see what happens because that's easier for him.
Yes. And then also he also states in the song where he's got nothing to lose.
He has nothing to lose. He has everything to prove.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Aaron has all his family's legacy to lose. So,
if you can't tell, I've listened to Wait for It quite a lot.
Yeah, that's fine. I've also listened to Wait for It quite a lot. Like most of these songs, I've definitely listened to more than probably 100 times.
I would say that for Act 1. I don't like Act 2 that much.
Thank you.
Especially from Say No to This onward, I think that for the most part, bar Hurricane and Burn, the quality kind of drops.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like what is it? What Did I Miss? And then all the rap battles during that like era is fantastic. And then like I feel like for me, it's like the Reynolds pamphlet and it just goes down. Just like that includes sorry. God, let's see. I have this like entire list in front of me. So there is the Reynolds pamphlet. Oh God, why didn't I cannot read. Oh yeah. So that includes like I'm sorry, Burn, and then like Stay Alive, Blow Us All. Well, Blow Us All Away's like okay, but then obviously shit happens. Shocker. It's been like it's literally like 400 years old.
Yeah.
Obviously stuff happens there. But yeah, it's just like I find like like not so much the quality, but the entire tone of the play just kind of like drops.
Yeah.
Just because everything just becomes like he can't catch a break, and then obviously he never does after that particular point. Like there's no there's no redemption in that whatsoever.
I think for me, the second act was just like all political, and that's why I wasn't really a big fan of it. But there were certain songs like It's Quiet Uptown. I got here. I was not a fan of the Reynolds pamphlet at all. I hated it. That's like, yeah. Your Obedient Servant was really, really, really well done.
Oh, it's so good.
Yes. And of course,
it's petty shade back and forth.
Yes. Oh God. I'll send you a list of 30 times throughout our lives that we've had arguments, and he's like, "Oh God."
And this passed the papers.
Yeah. Up until like I would say the last 5 songs, I think are last 6 songs of the second act are like just like it's not for me. I'm not here for it. My number 1 is actually Have to Be Satisfied. Just the instrumentals to that song alone give me goosebumps. And it's so well done. It's, oh God. and put on top of that a story that I could relate to really, really fucking hard. Yeah, it hit me pretty hard. I had to stop for a second. When I first watched it, I was like, "Fuck, that hit me pretty hard." Yeah, it just everything about that story. It's just sad for me, and this is probably the song I've listened to the most, Satisfied, and I will probably never get tired of it. It's just so fucking good. I can recite that. I can safely say I can recite that song line by line. Yeah. Since we've ranked,
Objectively, it's amazing.
yeah, absolutely. Since we finished the rankings, I wanted to do some honorable mentions, and I think we've kind of already done that, but let's do it anyway. I'll start with the song we know has just like the greatest line, and that's when Aaron Burr says, "No one else was in the room when it happened," and then Hamilton is like, "Is that a yes? Like, just answer the fucking question." I thought was pretty great, and again gives a call back to the song. Yeah. Fee, did you have any honorable mentions?
I do.
Okay.
I know how much you adore him, but What Did I Miss is such a bop. Just like the sheer cockiness and switching from like Lafayette, which was like Lafayette was a fantastic character and just very much like this is like I'm here to like complete all this, and then we like, just the swap in characters, like it seems like a completely different actor at that particular point. Just
Absolutely.
like this in like jump in like what is it energy, and then just being like, hey, like I've been away this entire time, like what did I miss, like oh, we have this like kind of a prick in New York that I have to deal with, and I'm going to be the Secretary of State. Like, okay, like I'm been living this posh life, and then now I'm just going to be coming into New York and just wrecking shit up with my ideals. Mind you, his ideals were not okay. I'm just going to say that right now. We're not going to go into that. That's a whole political thing.
Yeah.
But Davey Diggs did such a freaking good job
Such a great
swapping
job.
characters. Like, oh God, it's just, I just love the energy so much. He's just like dancing around like, I'm just living my best life. Like, everyone's super depressed and shit has happened, but man, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I would
So,
like
yeah.
I would like to clarify. I don't like the I guess like him on stage. I do like him singing. So that's just a weird thing for me.
So you like Thomas, like you don't like Thomas Jefferson, but you
On
like
screen.
Davey Diggs.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Davey Diggs is absolutely phenomenal. And I think he had one of the best transitions between characters.
Yeah.
Like the others definitely did a good job, but like that was that was a 180.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Holland, what was your honorable mention, if you had one?
I kind of mentioned it already
Okay.
when we brought up You'll Be Back, King George's, and it was You'll Be Back, and then you got What Comes Next, and it was just like this kind of cocky little thing, and then I Know Him. Whenever he was like that little guy that came to talk to me, he's like, oh man, that it was just so great and just such a fun little thing. And it's his little da thing at the end is going to be stuck in my head.
Oh yeah.
Forever.
Yep.
Anytime I'm just kind of like, oh, I need a little kind of like uplifting thing. It's going to be those little notes, that little, so that was that. But I think one of the ones that deserves an honorable mention is That Would Be Enough. Where Eliza's really trying to like get through to Hamilton and be like, hey, like we're okay. Like which I think is for me that it kind of hit close to home because that's kind of how Carlos and I talk to each other, just with everything that's going on. And we're just like, ugh, like, and it's, you know what, as long as we're like safe and, you know, we're, you know, doing this thing and we're getting through it all, we're going to be fine. And that's enough. And I thought that was just so beautiful. And she's just really trying to get through to him in that moment. And I that would be it.
Okay, fair enough.
Nice.
Jess, do you have an honorable mention?
Basically everything that wasn't on my list, but especially Dear Theodosia. I love Burr singing to his daughter, and not the Dear Theodosia where it's he's courting the wife, but when they have the kids.
Yeah.
Because you see this duality of or this dichotomy between Hamilton and Burr, and they both have their children, and they're both just terrified and excited about being fathers, and the way that they talk to their children, and just the back and forth there. You know, it's just such a gorgeous song, and it's definitely a heartwarming moment in what is generally just a gigantic mess. Because they're
Yes.
in the middle of the war.
Although, like, why? Why call your daughter Theodosia when your wife is Theodosia? You know? Like, I don't know.
Back in the day, man.
Yeah,
just
but
so much
like,
easier.
first off, Theodosia is a word in and of itself. You know, like, why taunt her child by naming her also Theodosia? But that's just me.
Okay, well, you want to talk about weird names? Hamilton actually had a second Philip after the first Philip died.
Oh yeah, I know, but like, yeah, that's like kind of we're not gonna get into that. Craig,
I really like the name.
apparently, Craig, did you have an honorable mention?
I've got two that kind of go into the same thing for me because it's Stay Alive and Guns and Ships,
Okay.
which are kind of two sides of the same story. Where Stay Alive, they're talking about how they're having all these problems, they can't get equipment, they're struggling, they're failing in this war. And then Guns and Ships is the moment where they're like, right, we are ready to take the fight to you guys. It's Lafayette coming back from France where all the equipment they need being like, no, we need Hamilton back now because no one's as smart as I am at tactical planning except for Hamilton. And the way they two complement each other, I think, is just great because you're seeing both sides of a war there. It's like you've never seen them so despondent. They're eating their horses, and then suddenly, right, let's get Hamilton back. Let's do this thing. And I just love the two of them.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I think we've pretty much gone over everything. Let's do some plugs.
Yeah.
Fee, what are you plugging?
Okay. Well, I'm plugging my Twitch and Twitter at Zeranix. Z for Canadians, but ZURANIIX. Also on Sundays, we talk about this like not really well known anime called
Yeah.
Attack on Titan. No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah, no biggie. It's definitely not soul crushing and absolutely phenomenal, but I digress. Highly recommend it. We talk about the final season and we just do kind of like crazy talk and jokingly simp about things to just make Ruben feel incredibly uncomfortable the entire time. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you know what? Once again, Levi is 5'0" and we lost a tall bay in season 3, and I digress. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Attack on Titan on Sundays.
All
Here.
right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Holland, did you have anything to plug?
I guess just my my Instagram, my Twitter. I on Instagram and on Twitter I am
Holland, you cut
Mahoney
out.
without the E in.
Holland, you cut out.
Oh, did I did?
Yes, we didn't hear.
I'm still there.
You just said my Instagram. Oh no.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes. Oh no. Okay. I believe
Is this better at all?
I mean, we hear you. Oh, good.
but that was dripping with a butt.
What?
No, I can't hear you guys.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go back to her. I have her Instagram and her Twitter, just in case she doesn't come back. Jess, what are you plugging?
I am at Kikyo1506, KIKYO1506 everywhere.
Okay.
And I will be back to talk WandaVision episode 5, and I'm really excited about that because this show is nuts.
That's right. I'm very excited to talk to you about that. We'll see what happens. Like, this show can only get better, you know? Yeah, that's all I got.
True believers.
Oh, sorry about that. Greg, what are you plugging?
You can catch me over on Twitter at Abscythe, which is ABSEITH. I'm also very, very occasionally on Twitch there whenever I have a chance.
Okay.
And I host the Here We Are SWLA gaming show.
Ooh, nice.
So I think tomorrow maybe, are putting out our Game of the Year discussion. And you can catch that on iTunes, I know, at least on Here We Are SWLA.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's coming out tomorrow as far as I know.
Okay. If you want, you could send me the link. Is it video on YouTube?
No.
Okay, just podcast. Okay, send me the link and I'll put it in the description.
Awesome.
All right. Holland, let's try this again. Oh, no.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
What? Oh God, don't do that to me.
Oh, come on. Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, my Instagram is Grizzly Expression. Twitter is
Oh, man. Jeez. Okay, let's. I'm gonna say it for you because you keep cutting out, like, right specifically when you give the social handles.
This is my Twitter.
Yeah, her Instagram is Grizzly Expressions. You can see it on the screen, and her Twitter is at Holland Mahoney Jr. with no E in Mahoney. Okay, sounds good. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me on on this podcast. I was afraid that it was gonna go sideways because I've never done a musical review. But I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, Sweeney Todd.
I don't know about that. Sweeney Todd is just a continuation of the Harry Potter universe. But we're going to get into that real later. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.